One thing I have to say is, I think we were saying it on the way up, you have no ego.
Yeah, no, there's for me, you know, if I attribute that to just martial arts. I was raised as a martial artist. It's the first thing I did. You know, being young, 3 years old, being in a martial arts gym of Lao Gao Kung Fu, where you bow to everybody, you show respect. You have to bow, but to enter the class, you have to bow before you leave the class. You know, you said you've done some martial arts yourself.
Yes.
You understand the kind of discipline that it takes,
respect,
the respect levels, and I've just kind of carried that with me everywhere. And I feel everyone's human, man. I don't care who you are. I don't care how established you are.
So tell us a little bit about your journey, because a lot of my audience don't know how you were raised and what it was like growing up. Was you always like around money, and did you grow up rich and you had a silver spoon in your mouth and things were easy?
I wish. Nah, definitely not. So grew up in like Lisson Green area, so around Edgware Road. Wasn't the best of areas. But always had martial arts, that kind of, I think that I always say martial arts was my anchor, because I was never around the best of people, but I never got into what they were getting into, simply because I was like, man, I feel like having a separate peer group, being the martial arts guys, kept me like not wanting to go and run off with the other peer group that I'm forming as I was growing. Because as they're doing certain things, I'm like, boy, these guys are going to kick my ass, man. And they can legally do it. So I was like, you know what? Every time we got to the point where I'm about to go do something with them, I was like, you man, I'm going back home. I blame the martial arts, also blame my mum. My mum, she's not one to play with. She used to do martial arts herself.
Okay.
So if you come to, go to mum's house, it's all the trophies in there. It's not all mine,
Wow.
should I say, because she used to compete and stuff as well. So surrounded by martial arts, I got siblings that all did martial arts. All of us are just, that is our heart, that's our love.
Right.
Not all of us have continued to do it, but we all stay in shape and so on and so forth, and we all have that kind of a discipline that we took from it, and the attributes that we took from being in and around martial arts. So that's kind of it.
It's weird, people just see your success.
That's what I'm saying. They always see the end result.
They just see that big mountain at top, but they didn't see all of that hard
exactly.
work beneath, you know.
Exactly.
And it takes years and years to be an overnight success, they say.
Exactly. So for me, it's finding your why, or finding a reason that overshadows your reasons for not doing it anymore. But for me, it's something that when I started teaching, I used to teach a lot in my dad's schools, and all the kids that they started and they're excited and and then a little bit down the line they want to stop. The parents are like, oh yeah, they want to stop now, and I'm like, that's irrelevant. If you go along with that, then you teach them exactly that.
Yes.
And it's a life lesson for them. Bring them in kicking and screaming. And I've had students like that, like crying. Like we teach from 4 years old all the way up, and parents used to get embarrassed, like, oh no, I don't want to bring my 4-year-old crying, because she's more kind of worried about what it looks like to other people. Don't worry about it. You bring them in, drop them, leave.
Yes.
I'll take them over from there. I used to sit down with, I had one kid, Tom, sit down with him. He would, for probably about 8 weeks, didn't do one session. But his mum brought him every single week. Didn't do one session. I cancelled our membership. Said, no, you don't pay until he actually starts, but keep bringing him.
Yeah.
Because he needs to learn.
Yes, nice.
So sat down and we'll just talk. So my other instructors were teaching the rest of the class, and we'll just talk. Every now and again I go, do you want to join the game at the end, or did it? And he's like, no. Cool, no problem. And then eventually he joined the game at the end. We always finished with the game.
Yes.
Eventually he joined the game at the end, did the game, backtrack again. Following week, he'll do a little bit before the game and just progress. Later on down the line, he was one of we used to do like a junior black belt, just more for the kids, just to give them something to accomplish. And then when that would qualify them for their first belt in the adults.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
And when he did his black belt grading for the juniors, people were like, he's amazing. And I was like, if you ever knew what it took to get him to that point.
Wow.
He was the best student in the class.
Wow.
But it took having to go through all of that.
Yes.
But he's learned a lesson as well. Because he had to go through pain. But it's like, but the end result, I'm this person. And people don't realize, and parents don't realize. I think sometimes they can be the student's biggest downfall is because of their own insecurities and fears. They they'll pull them out. No, forgetting the martial arts side, they have a lesson here that I can't just say yes and then get it and no, and then it just, everything stops. Because when it comes to driving lessons and you go for a test, you can't just ask for it. You have to do the thing. If it's not working, you just stop.
Yeah.
There's so much there.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like martial arts should be in schools.
Yes.
Because it's not just the punching and kicking, and this is what a lot of people don't understand.
100. That's so powerful what you just said. Like, it's up to us as parents to take responsibility, because these children are under our guardianship.
Exactly.
And it's up and until 16, we have control of what they do and how they do it. And just because, I think would even like to say, even sometimes the media say that it's too much what you're putting your kids under, but they're your kids.
Exactly.
We were brought up with tough love, and it made us resilient. We had to fill up the fridges and stuff, even when we didn't want to, even when we had a little cough, but it made me that I could still do it.
Exactly.
Even if I wasn't in the best shape. And so many people do give up. As soon as there's a bit of pain, they turn back and run. But when you go through pain, as you said, it's something beautiful on the
There's
other
something
side.
amazing at the other side. And like you said, as you were saying before, people only seem to spot you when you're doing the amazing stuff and forget there's a journey there. But it does mean there is a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
100.
But that rainbow could be broken. You have to climb like high. You're like scared of height. There's a lot to overcome.
100.
But there's a positive ending.
100, man. I'm getting the messages in my DMs right now. As soon as every guest is like, why didn't you call me when you were with so-and-so? I was like, where was you 12 months ago when I had 2 subscribers? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But now you've hitting a little bit of success. They're like, hey, we're here. And
Of
it's
course,
like,
of course.
but you find out who was real and who was next to you and who.
And you know what? For me, I don't even hold anybody. I don't hold anybody like against anybody, because sometimes people just don't see your vision.
Yeah.
And if they don't see it, and all their fears and natural fears kick in and so on. And I'm talking even today, for myself, people that care about me the most will still come up to me and go, "Oh, Michael, man, you shouldn't fight with your hands down, man." That's their fear, though. This is me, 20 plus fights deep. Yeah. Never have my hands up, beating everybody, and their fear. And it's more a case of them putting themselves in your position and what they would do. And because they care about you, this is what I would have done to protect myself, so you should do it.
Yeah.
But that's your fear passed on to me.
Yes.
But if you're actually looking at it properly, and if you actually had the lens at the time, you would see that, no, this is actually better for him. But not everybody will see it at the time.
Well, being that we're talking about your style right now, your style is very different. And I've got friends who have MMA fighters, and they have striking coach, grappling coach, a physio. And some of these coaches are very set in their ways, how they want you to be. And if you go a little bit off, they have a real problem with that.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? Because you've got such a different style. You're
I was fortunate. So my style does come from somewhere. It's like I said, it's the Lao Gao Kung Fu traditionally, but there's a sport called freestyle kickboxing, very similar to Taekwondo. If you was watching it, there's people scoring points and stuff. It's more the speed element of kickboxing than it is the power element of kickboxing. People are more drawn to the power element just because they want to see blood. We've got that fixated thing in us. We just want to see people just go to war. But this side is more done on the speed element side. This is why not a lot of people kind of has seen our style. But I've done that for 20 plus years before I got into mixed martial arts. And as you say, it's like I have to find the right coach, because all this time I've been spoiled in the sense that it was my dad that was my coach.
okay.
So it's like, okay, I need to find someone I can connect with in that kind of way, and is okay with me still utilizing my style, because I would never have been able to do it any other way. It had to have been my way. And
which is getting you to number 1 at the moment.
Of course, yeah, no, definitely.
So you knew it worked, but yeah.
it's funny you say that. I didn't, but I'll get back to that.
Okay.
But so I've traveled. I'm talking. I got my family, my siblings have actually moved to the States, so I've gone over to the States, and there's gyms over there. At the time, it was a case of MMA was quite small over here, so it was like in order to be successful, you had to go to the States. In my mind,
Right.
Because I didn't know enough. I didn't really watch MMA before I even jumped into it. So I'm like, okay, cool. Fly to the States, staying at my sister's. I go to a couple of gyms over there. quite a famous gym, American Top Team, and I was like, yeah, this is the gym for me. I'm gonna stay there. When I got back, older brother Marvin Francis, he was like, let's just check out a couple of gyms local, just to see, you know, if anything, you know, anything kind of sticks out to us. Gone to quite a few gyms, and I was like, yeah, I'm not really feeling it. I'm good with energy, so I'm like, nah, I'm not really feeling it. Gone to London Shoot Fighters gym.
Okay.
And I walked in there. I haven't even met the main coaches there. I've just seen how the classes are being run. I'm listening, like, as much as I don't know what I'm listening to, I can hear sense. Because I used to teach myself. You know, when people, how they structure their teaching and how they're telling you and how they're in, I'm like, oh, these guys are good.
Right.
I didn't do any research on them. Didn't know.
That's
more venomous.
Where does the name come? Where does that come from, bro?
Actually, so again, Marvin Francis, my older brother, when I was probably about 8 or 9, and he was always going, oh, Venom. I'm like, what's that about? He's just like, yeah, you just, for some reason, how skinny you are, because I was very skinny, how skinny you are, and the impact that you would, like, I'd hitting kids and they're flying. He's like, it just doesn't make sense. You got some extra venom in your punches. And then we started, like, me and him, very creative. So there's a film called The 5 Deadly Venoms, old school kung fu movie, a must watch. It was like, you had like centipede, toad, lizard, this, that, blah, 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 all had their own different, like, thing. And so we started making each like animal had their own move associated with it. And so then I just became Venom, encompassed that. And even down to when you used to go to competitions and register your name, I used to put my name down as Michael Page, and then I was like, I'll put my name as Michael Venom Page, but never actually anticipated the MVP until later. I believe there's a fan online, I couldn't even tell you who it was now, but said MVP, or said like that's MVP or something, and I was like, that's pretty cool.
A ring to it.
I like that.
So Michael, the flip side to this. Now I think I know what you're gonna say, because you're such a relaxed character and you're quite in your zen and in your energy and control. But mental health hits a lot of people, and I can even tell you through my version of my business is, I always just wanted to become a millionaire. And from the age of 13, I wanted to buy one property or this. I had a plan. 26, I executed it. My accountant goes, Sean, you're a millionaire. And it was like, yay. And then it was like, what's my purpose? Like, what do I do now? Like, why am I? And I can associate that with like people like Tyson Fury as well. Became world champion, and he didn't get the cheer that he deserved, and then he went the opposite way, because it was like, I fulfilled it all. And for an MMA fighter, for example, how does that affect you when the lights are on you, the crowd's on you, the papers and press and weigh-ins are on you, and then you have your fight and you win, and it's like, yes, done it. And then you don't know when you're fighting again, maybe a year's time. How do you deal with that sort of side?
It's funny, like as you say, a lot of people just assume, because I am very relaxed and so on and so forth, that side is kind of easy. And as you say, after the fight, the energy kind of carries on for a little bit, because, you know, people are still talking about it, and, you know, you still got interviews and stuff to do. So it carries a little bit. There's a ripple effect that will last so long. And, you know, the plan is you hope to get another fight in that time. If you don't, that's where, you know, because you're still going into the gym with no purpose now, because you don't have a fight. You're injuring yourself because you're still training hard, because, you know, we've got other teammates, and as much as it's an individual sport, I don't class it as an individual sport. I class it as a team sport. So let's say me and you are training in the gym. I've just had my fight. You might have your fight in a couple of months. So it's now my job to kind of still be in the gym, just to make sure I'm there to help you. You know, I might be good at a certain move that you're similar to your opponent.
Right.
And there's, you know, 30 more of you. So we're constantly making sure we're trying to still be in the gym to help each other. But so you're working hard, and I'm working hard on behalf of other people. But when you're like, you know, when's your fight coming, and purpose, it's difficult. I have crashes all the time, all the time. And when I say crashes, I mean like I don't want to do this shit no more. This is nothing now. Like, why am I doing this? And you get irritated, you get angry, you get annoyed, frustrated. All of these kind of things get dark. It can get dark and get depressed. And it's in those moments, luckily enough, that I had those lessons without really realizing of perseverance when I was younger, getting my ass kicked anyway, but yet still traveling down. And then looking at myself now, if I had stopped, MVP wouldn't exist. Okay, get up and train. I'll see it like this: if I'm true to myself, people are still gonna remember who I am. I could lose 5-6 times, end up with the belt. Who cares?
Yeah.
No one cares. No one's even gonna remember the people that, beat you.
Yeah.
Because you're that guy now. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So no one's gonna remember. So we need to, apologies. So we need to focus on those attributes and not the pressures. All of that, alleviate that. Because I've had people come to me, oh man, did you know you're going to be the first person on Viacom? Because, Viacom's just bought out Bellator at the time. You're going to be the first person, the first fight they show on Viacom. How's that feel? But you try to put pressure on me.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds great to me.
Yeah.
Done. HBO just partnered with Bellator. You're going to be the first person that's going to be on the HBO. How's that feel? Fine. That's your pressure.
It's a fight anyway.
It's a fight. You know what I mean? If I was fighting by myself in my bedroom, just nobody viewing with my opponent, I still enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's because that's to do with me. I don't care about there's no additional pressures. That's how it should feel every single time. Or like I'm just in the gym. Just me and my opponent, no one's watching, we're fighting. It's the same. I just go to here and I can just feel other people's energies, but no pressure. Those energies lift me. I don't go, oh man, I'm the first one. Oh man, if I don't win this fight, I'm not going to get paid the extra this. Or if I don't do this, I might not get a bonus. That's pressure. Now you're trying to fight and everything feels heavy. Yeah. That is irrelevant. You can tell me that even someone telling me like, oh, if you get a knockout in this fight, you're going to be the highest, you're going to get the highest KOs in Bellator history. It sounds great. Like if that happens, great. Like applaud me afterwards. But you telling me now is just people trying to put pressure, not intentionally all the time. They're just stating facts.
Yes.
But for other people, they'll be like, oh yeah, for real. Now I have to really try to go for a knockout, and then it didn't happen. Now you're even more depressed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What's your biggest accomplishment?
Biggest accomplishment. Biggest accomplishment. So I'd say it's hard because it's like all my accomplishments. There's a team involved, but I'd say just staying true to who I am, regardless of the new people that I seem to be attracting and surrounding myself with, and status my status keep going up. I think my accomplishment is just being myself.
Amazing answer. How do you maintain your physical fitness and conditioning throughout the whole year?
As gonna go back to not training with the purpose of self and teammates kind of helps me go back to the gym even when I'm not doing anything.
Okay. And what is your training regime like when you're getting prepared for a fight?
Man, this is when I hate my coach. I hate my coach most of the time, as much as I love him, because it's all day, every day, and good times, bad times. What I mean is I could be injured. I could injure my arm. He's like, fine, we'll work on your left arm and you'll use your legs. I injured my leg. He said, fine, we'll work on the other leg and you'll use both your arms. And he's dead serious about it. Like, I'll come in, sit down. I've been on the ski machine seated because my leg was injured. And it was a hell of a workout.
Yes.
Like he's like, there's no excuse. Yeah, you bed bound. I'll work your eyebrows. Like, there'll always be a reason. And having somebody that where you're not in control of it almost, because he's a coach that I respect so highly, that regardless of my feelings, it helps having somebody like, get up, I need to see you. Having somebody like him around. And that's why always having mentors or surround yourself with people that can push you. I think a lot of people at the top, you start to see them, they start surrounding themselves with yes men. That means they're in control of their own destiny. That's the worst way to have it.